Join me today as we talk about China's tariffs on Canada. Nobody's ticked off about that. The crypto industry, Tesla is under fire. Their stock has just crashed. What really happened? And we're going to talk a little bit more about the VA health system. I'm getting a lot of questions on that, and I want to help you out as much as possible. So click, subscribe, follow me on X. I'd really appreciate it. And stick around. You just might learn something. Welcome to the Eric T Conversation. I'm Eric T. Well, a lot of crazy stuff has been going on. I hope everybody had a great weekend. So here we are on Monday, and a lot of things have kind of changed. So today, the tariffs from China hit Canada. 100% tariffs. That's right. 100% tariffs on China, and nobody is saying anything about it. They have the repressed meal futures, okay, and their exchange in China has gone up 6%. On 100% tariffs. Where's the outrage? Where are the Canadians taking all the products from China off their shelves? Where are all those videos at? You don't see any videos. You know why? Because they have to create a boogeyman by the United States. So all those videos of Canadian liquor stores and convenience stores and grocery stores and department stores taking all the American products off their shelves, they're not doing it with China. I wonder why that is. When China enacted 100% tariffs on some oil futures for them. Isn't that strange? I don't think it's strange. It's the way the left operates because they have to create this hysteria for Trump to let everybody who's kind of weak-minded fall into that tailspin that everything's just a mess right now. And it's not. It's the way it's going to work and things are going to get better. Trump posted the other day, hey, hold out. September is coming and things are going to get much better by then. We're going to be so rich, we're not going to know what to do with all that money. And honestly, I believe it. For the first time in our history, we have a businessman who's had the experience of being president once before, had 4 years to completely regroup himself, come back to office with a new and perfect plan to get things back on track. Our country has been a mess since the end of World War II when the military-industrial complex started funneling money and creating all these NGOs and all this other stuff to keep that perpetual wars going. And Trump is ending all that. And he's in there with Doge, and they're figuring it all out. Other great news is that Doge is finding money hand over fist, and people aren't believing it. I do lives all the time, and when I'm on there, I get people that even comment on these videos, and they're telling me, oh, there's lies. That's not true. Yes, the whole mice transgender thing was actually true. And people don't understand that. They are promoting these things for a reason with ridiculous names. You know why? Because nobody's reading these bills. Nobody. And so they appropriate these funds and they call it whatever they want. But everybody's talking about, oh, well, Congress, they have to allot all this expenditures and they've already allocated those monies to those projects. No, they do not. Here's how our budget works for the people in the back that don't really understand how it is. Congress creates a budget, right? They allocate X amount of money to the military, DOD, 800 billion or whatever. Well, they give them that money just like they give USA the billions of money that they have. Once those organizations get that money, it's up to them to figure out where they're going to spend it. So when the DOD gets that $880 billion for our defense, the Congress doesn't say, hey, well, you got $1 billion for guns, you've got $1 billion for shirts and uniforms, you've got $1 billion for new airplanes, you got $5 billion for new tanks. That's not how it works. The money is a big lump sum, and it's up to the Department of Defense to individually allocate those funds to different projects. So that's what USAID was doing. That's what they were doing. They were allocating all those funds to projects they were creating out of thin air. And everybody upset about all those people that lost their jobs. Those people that lost their jobs, a lot of them were complicit in these actions. So what happens is Doge would get these people, interview them, and when they interview these people, they ask them, what are these projects? Where's this money going? And when people answer and they're fumbling around they're not really clear what the answer is, and they don't have a good explanation where this money goes, that's a red flag, and that person's gone. So if you're on a project and you're sending out money for the government and you actually are doing something that's worthwhile, you know the answer to that. So they took those people that were in USAID. I think they took the department down to about 300 individuals, and they're keeping approximately 2,000 USAID projects on the books because these projects have to work for the United States. They have to be in the United States' best interest. So if that's humanitarian aid, if that's food, if that's maybe some, weapons or guns or something like that to different areas of different countries, and it's in the best interest of the United States, yes, we'll send them some aid. But the United States isn't in the business of giving our tax dollars for frivolous expenditures, because the mice thing was absolutely true. We know that's true. It sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Just like hamsters on steroids. That's true. Okay? And we gave something about $300,000 for that as well. So all the people on the left, and there are people on the right too, okay, as far as the Congress or Senate or people in the bureaucracy are concerned, they all know what's going on. And all the people on the left are shouting from the mountaintops to have DOJ stop investigating all of these expenditures. And some on the right are telling you, hey, that's good that's happening. And then there are some on the right that aren't saying a word. And there's a reason why they're not saying a word, because they're complicit in all this fraud and expenditures. Now, everybody's like, okay, well, where's the proof that there's fraud? No, we don't have absolute proof that there's fraud. I'm sure there's some that the government has. They're figuring it out. But come on, you can't be that naive to think that we're sending millions of dollars to Iraq for Sesame Street. We're doing millions of dollars for a transgender mice study. You can't believe that that money is actually going to those projects, because it's not. They call it whatever they want. That money goes up and around, goes to the laundromat, and comes back in the form of payments for our politicians and whoever else pushes papers around. Now, you can deny it all you want. You can keep saying there's no proof, but you can't be that naive to think that these ridiculous names of these projects are legitimate, because they're not legitimate. And if you consistently deny it and attack people who are telling you this stuff is probably fraud, there is no help for you at all. There is nothing anyone can say to you to change your mind, and you're just lost. You're a lost cause. For all those that are still denying that this stuff is right in front of your face and they're using our tax dollars to funnel these funds, there's nothing else we can tell you. Just like George Soros. George Soros has created several different nonprofit organizations. And how they do it like this. Those guys are billionaires, okay? So for them to drop $10 million, it's nothing to them. So they create these nonprofits, donate $10 million of their money into a nonprofit, and now the United States government is funneling money into those nonprofits. And when they funnel money into those nonprofits are turning around and funneling different political campaigns, different bureaucracies, different congressmen, different senators. They're lobbying for our politicians with our tax dollars. That's how they're doing it. And he's very good at it. He's been doing it for a very long time. So these billionaires, so-called donors, aren't utilizing their own funds. They're utilizing our tax dollars to funnel it through their organizations and to feed the political machine. That's what they're doing. And Trump is in there dismantling the whole thing. And it's bad. Elon Musk is catching a lot of flack. Today, Tesla had the lowest crash on their stock. It went down something like 40% on Tesla stock. They are going in and protesting into the Tesla dealerships and their manufacturing plants. They are attacking X. Today, X had major cyber attacks all over its platform. A lot of people weren't getting their messages through. A lot of the main characters on X, the promoters and the social media influencers on there, their messages weren't going through. It was blocking a lot of their content. They had a massive cyber attack. Now, cyber attacks happen probably hundreds of thousands of times every single day to every organization out there. Our government, our social media platforms, stores, credit card companies, they're constantly getting attacked. It's a major problem. That's why getting a degree in cybersecurity is a really good thing. So if you're out there and figuring out what you want to do with your life, go get something in cybersecurity. You're going to have a job for a very long time. But X was attacked today. And I don't know if the platform is still operating properly. And Elon Musk is catching all that flack because of his involvement with Doge and how much he's involved and figuring out where all of this money is going towards. They're not attacking the guy because he's not finding anything. They are attacking him because he is finding a treasure trove of bad money. Bad money. That's what I'm calling it. It could be fraud or whatever it is. I know there's no actual 100% proof, but like I said, 1 + 1 = 2. And they're not attacking Elon Musk because he's just doing a terrible job. They're attacking him and his X platform because he's doing what they're afraid he's doing. He's uncovering billions of dollars in waste. Billions. And it needs to be stopped. It's our tax dollars. And I just have a hard time believing that all of these people out there that attack people like me and other people that are on these platforms that are trying to give you information that you probably don't usually get through mainstream media and legacy media, to open your eyes a little bit. Just a little bit. And think about it. Say, God, really, is that really what our tax dollars are going towards? I know there's a lot of humanitarian aid that we want to send out because we're that type of country. We're a very rich country and we could do those things. Well, we're not rich as in dollar wise. I mean, we have a $36 trillion debt, but we're a rich country. Okay. Our poorest people in America would be middle class in some of these awful third world countries. And that's what people don't understand. So our government has been funneling this kind of money around for decades. And it's coming to an end. So when the midterms come up, they're afraid because these politicians get their money from all these NGOs, these non-government organizations. That's where they get their money from. And the well is running dry and they're panicking. And so what do? They call Elon Musk this name, Donald Trump that name, JD Vance, they call him this. They call all the people that are on social media giving you this information. Oh, we're just awful. We're delusional. We're crazy. No, we're not. Not at all. I listen to both sides. I don't get any of my information from legacy media. I really don't. I don't watch TV, not any of the news on television. I read and I Google. And then when you get a certain information that you think you can go down the rabbit hole, you start looking at it, investigating it a little bit more. So if you just Google one thing and you happen to lean more towards the left, you're going to get information to the left. And that's what you're going to constantly be fed. So once in a while, you got to look at the other side, people. You have to get both sides of the story and come up with a rational conclusion where all of this money is going towards and why it's happening and why these politicians that are worth tens of millions of dollars by having a job that's a $200,000 a year salary. How is that possible? Nobody walking around that works in corporate America has a salary of $174,000 to $200,000 a year that is worth $84 million in about 15 years having that job. Nobody. But politicians are. So how is that really happening? Right? The ones that are screaming the loudest, like Elizabeth Warren, you got guys like Bernie Sanders, you got AOC, everybody that's screaming the loudest and complaining about all this happening and calling Elon Musk and Donald Trump the devil, those are the ones you got to look at because those are the ones that have the most to absolutely lose with all the money that Doge is finding. So there's a big thing about crypto right now. People are kind of getting uneasy and a little upset that the market is going down. The stock market is not doing well at all either. Here's the thing about cryptocurrencies for those people that are just into it or people that have watched my videos, some of my friends that have gotten into cryptocurrencies and are nervous about how it's gone down, if they purchased it at a higher price. Overall, the market is better than it was a year ago. So in the cryptocurrency space, we always say, when in doubt, zoom out. So zoom out a little bit and you see a bunch of green and you probably won't feel as bad as you do right now. But cryptocurrency is a very volatile thing to invest in. And I tell everybody, my recommendation is not financial advice, but if you're going to invest in crypto, invest something that you don't really care if you lose it or not. That's some advice that I've lived by. I don't put a whole bunch of money in. I kind of slow roll it. So if I'm going to go out one night, maybe you're going to go spend some time drinking. You say, you know, I won't go drinking, and I'm going to take that $100-something. I'm going to buy some crypto with it instead. Or, you know what? I'm not going to buy lunch today after work. I'm going to go home and I'm going to make a sandwich or bring a lunch with me, and I'm going to use that $25 and I'm going to buy crypto with it. That's kind of how I do it. And I've been doing it for about 8 years. So I have a very diverse portfolio with cryptocurrencies, and I believe in it. I believe in the technology of cryptocurrencies. Because remember, you're not really buying a coin per se. You're buying technology, very much like Google. And it doesn't have any regulations right now. Although the crypto space has been trying for years to get regulation, the previous administration, all they wanted to do was enforcement by lawsuits. That's it. All they were doing was suing. They sued Coinbase, Kraken, Library went under because they sued. They didn't have enough money to cover their expenses from the huge lawsuit. They sued Ripple, on and on and on, because they were trying to crush cryptocurrencies. Because people know it is the way of the future. It is the way you're going to be able to track spending. So all this government money that we've been talking about getting wasted and we don't know where it goes, it's going to be sent on a blockchain soon enough. Watch. Within the next couple of years, all of this money that we funnel out to different countries or different organizations, it's going to be on a blockchain. And you and me and everybody else is going to be able to track that expenditure and see where it goes. And that's what they were trying to suppress, because they know that technology was coming and they weren't going to be able to hide money anymore. So soon as these regulations come in, and Trump said the other day on Friday in his crypto summit, he wants a bill that he can sign on his desk in August. And when that happens, crypto is going to go crazy. You're going to start having all these other ETFs filed from other Bank of America, from JP Morgan, from all these banks that are going to start investing other people that don't invest in cryptos now. Cryptocurrency currently is invested by about 10, 15% of the population. That's it. There's not a lot of people that invest in cryptocurrencies throughout the whole world. A lot of people know about it, but some people don't go into exchanges like Robinhood or Coinbase or Uphold to do their finances. They just don't do that. They have a broker, or they have a 401k, and somebody that invests money for them. So as soon as we get some more regulations, we're going to get ETFs. And these banks and these financial institutions like BlackRock are going to be able to invest people's money into these cryptocurrencies, and they're going to be able to custody them for the people. So that's what's happening. But they need regulations to do that, because right now it's a very volatile commodity. And people are leery in getting involved. The up and down that you're seeing is a lot of retail trading. Big banks and institutions aren't in it right now. They're coming. They are absolutely coming. You're going to have gold on the blockchain. You're going to have stocks, bonds. You're going to have your freaking deed to your house on the blockchain. It's all coming. And it's coming relatively quickly. You just have to be patient. And if you don't have the stomach to deal with the fluctuation of the crypto market, play the stock market. Put your money there. Because this is a game that is a long game. It's something that I've been investing in for 7 years, like many other people in the crypto space. We've been investing for years, waiting for all of this stuff and the smoke to clear and have an administration that supports cryptocurrencies to move that technology into the future. And it is absolutely 100% going to happen. So don't get scared. Hang in there. Like a lot of my friends out there that have been investing in cryptocurrencies that have taken some of my advice that I've given them and some of the recommendations that I've said, hang in there. It's going to go up. It is going to go up. Crypto's not going to stay at $2.30. Not going to stay at 8 cents. There's cryptocurrencies that are for AI, gaming cryptocurrencies, XRP. That's one that I'm a big fan of. That's going to be a bridge currency for huge major transactions across the globe. This is all happening. And now that we have a government that wants to utilize it, you're going to see it go up. So be patient. And when in doubt, zoom out. Just like Stacey Abrams and her Powered Forward community that got $2 billion. I did a report on this about almost 3 weeks ago, and I talked all about it. That Power Forward community group earned about $100 in 2023. That's it, $100. But yet they were given $2 billion by the Biden administration. So now she's out on video now and on interviews all over the news talking about what they were doing with that money. Was they were going to communities and different homes, and they were purchasing, get this, they were purchasing new appliances for people's homes to make their homes more energy efficient. I don't know. No one's ever called me to give me a new appliance. Anybody call you to get a new appliance? I don't think so. But that's what she's saying now. That money that she had, that $2 billion that they can't find, were you being used to purchase new appliances for people's homes? Gee, I'm just speculating here, but that sounds a lot like trying to buy somebody's vote. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's what it sounds like to me, if in fact they were doing that. And they also give $55 million to the Harris presidential campaign. And the rest of the money, it's gone. Nobody knows where it's at. But I guess they're buying a bunch of new appliances. This stuff is really happening all over the country by different people and political operatives that have been put in place to funnel this money back to DC. And that's what's happening. And unfortunately, we just can't get through to the people that really need to start paying attention and need to know who you're voting for. Because these people that are in office right now are in office because of the money they're receiving. Who is voting for Nancy Pelosi, an 80-something-year-old lady in San Francisco? Because San Francisco is a shithole. It is. It's a mess. It's got people doing drugs on the street, homeless everywhere. But yet Nancy Pelosi continually wins that congressional seat every 2 years like it's clockwork. And I'm sure she doesn't put very much effort into it. So all of these places and these politicians that are winning office over and over and over again, there's a reason why. Because they have all the money. That's how you win these elections. It's by money. The days of just going door to door and meeting people and shaking hands, those days are over. It's about money. Who can purchase more TV time? Who can purchase more radio time? Who can get on more podcasts now? You can see Trump was on all over different podcasts all the time. He reached an audience that he otherwise would not have reached. Podcasts are now going to be a thing for politicians to get on because this is it's a very raw format, extremely raw. And they're going to be getting asked questions on a hot seat with people who aren't purchased to promote a particular side, one way or the other. And there's a lot of good podcasters out there. And if you watch their shows, you kind of get both sides. And I implore everybody to do that. And I implore everybody to not just take my word for it. Do your own research. It's very important. I try to give as many facts as I can during this show, but I also make mistakes. And I also am an opinion show. I do opinions. So I take my information, I process it the best I can, and I give you some facts, some opinions on what I believe actually happened. And that's what I'm doing. And people still hitting me up about the VA. The VA is not cutting anybody's benefits. They're not. As I said, I am a disabled veteran. I've been in the VA system for about 16 years now. I use the VA 100% for all of my health care. I just had an appointment this past Friday. I went to the VA hospital in Orlando and Lake Nona. That place is a Taj Mahal. It is the most beautiful hospital I think I've ever been in. It's enormous. I had no problem going to see my doctor. I went and got some x-rays done, got some blood work done. There was staff all over the place, and I was treated wonderfully. Everybody thanked me for my service. It was a pleasurable experience. So everybody out here that thinks the VA is getting their benefits cut, stop it already. Most of you that are saying this probably aren't even veterans. Because the veterans that I talk to that are on these platforms that message me, and we talk back and forth, they're all absolutely fine. Their health care is absolutely fine. They are getting rid of wasteful spending. Everybody out here has worked a job. Whether it's on the line doing the pipe fittings, whether it's plumbing, whether it's in an office setting, there's always somebody in that office that isn't pulling their weight. Every single person has had somebody that they work with not pulling their weight. It happens every day. And just like any other company, some of these organizations that are funded by the United States government, they have employees that aren't pulling their weight. So yes, the VA is going from about 400-something thousand employees to 300,000, cutting about 15% of their staff because there are people there that they don't necessarily need. They don't. So they're cutting some of that fat down. They're starting to hire more medical personnel, doctors, nurses, and people like that, because that's who we really need. So here's an example. I missed a couple of phone calls when I had an appointment for VA. Today, I had to contact the VA on the phone because I guess I missed about 2 phone calls from them to schedule an appointment for physical therapy for myself. So after about 2 tries, they send you a letter. They said, hey, we've tried to contact you. Here's a number. Please give us a call. So I call the number on there. Now I have a local VA clinic here. It's not a hospital, it's a clinic, but it's very big in my local town. And I pretty much go there for everything except when I got to do something major over in Orlando. So it's about 5 minutes from my house. Very convenient. So I call the number and I got to go through the prompts, and then I get somebody on the phone, and I want them getting somebody from Orlando. I get somebody from Orlando. I say, well, I'm trying to get Vision. Okay, well, they put me through another number. It took about 15 minutes for them directing me to different lines and whatever to get somebody that could actually make an appointment for me for Vision. It shouldn't be that difficult. It shouldn't. I talked to 4 different people to get one thing done. And that's the waste that they're having. I hope that eventually, and Trump, if anybody's watching this, give me a call, because people that you're having in the VA system and into your staff to try to fix a VA system and work it better, get people like me that have been in the system for a while that can tell you the ins and outs. If the secretary of the VA has never used the VA for his health care, you probably need somebody around him that's done it, because we need a website and a system through the VA app that we can go on there, make appointments for any department that we need to go to very quickly. Having to make a phone call, this isn't 1997. This is 2025. There is no reason we have to call to make appointments anymore. It was 4 people I spoke with to get one thing done. I can use an app to get a massage. You know, one click, I can get a massage. I can get my haircut done by making appointments through an app. Hey, Secretary of the VA, Doug Collins, get the website working more efficiently. Then you can cut the people you need to cut. So people like me and other veterans that need to make appointments don't have to go through the rigmarole to get to somebody to actually get an appointment, because it's a little crazy about that. So that's probably my only beef with the VA. And as I said before, if you're on the VA system and you're having problems making a claim or anything like that, shoot me a DM. I'd be happy to give you any counseling that I possibly can. I've been in the VA system for a very long time. I filed my own claims. I did my own disability, and I'm pretty familiar with how the system works. I'm kind of like a guru. I'm not a genius, but I'm like a guru. I can help you, and I'd be happy to help any veteran out there that needs any assistance to try to get the disability that you qualify for, because you served our country, you're the 1%er, and you absolutely deserve it. Well, don't forget, subscribe, like my page, follow me on X if you can, because I'm trying to build that up a little bit. I'm doing well with TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, but I really get my X back up and running and kind of get that, because you can talk a little bit more in depth about a lot of other things, and I would appreciate it. So if you can follow me on X, that'd be great as well. Join me next time for a little chit chat, some observations, and some good old fashioned conversation. Thanks.